Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to be running down IRELIA's rework, her new abilities, show you what they do, but more importantly, answer the question, is the new IRELIA going to be a good jungler? So, first things first, let's show you what she does, shall we? Her passive, Ionian Fervor. I'm glad one type of fervor could stay in the game. Basically, I'll read it out. Well, should I read it out to you? Can you guys read? I don't know. I'll put a link to it in the description. But essentially, when you smack people around with spells, you get charges which increase the power of your auto attacks. That's all you really need to know about it. And again, I'm doing this from like mostly a jungle perspective here, okay? So if I'm skimming over stuff, it's because it's not too important for junglers. But you can read it there. I'll put it in the description. All that lovely business. Q, your Blade Surge. Very similar to old IRELIA Q here. You dash to people, dealing damage to them. And if it kills them, or if the target is marked, which we'll get onto later on here, it resets the cooldown. Your W, Defiant Dance. This one's really cool here. You spin around and take a bunch less damage, and then you fire out this thing in this skill shot in a line and hurt everything in the line. And yeah, the more you charge it up, the more damage you deal. Very nice for junglers. I'll get into more detail, obviously, and break things down a little bit more here. I'm just showing you the overview here. Flawless Duet. This and the Ultima are the two really cool abilities, in my opinion. You can fire that thing out there, you can fire another one down, and then when you reactivate, you stun people caught in between, and also mark them. And this mark is what activates the Blade Surge here, where it says if a target was marked, the cooldown's refreshed. So either you kill things or you hit the marked target, refresh the cooldown. Well, the marked target comes from here, the Flawless Duet. I really like this. I think this is a really cool ability. The Ultimate, though, is also really blooming cool. Look at that. So it does that. It marks people inside as well, so you can, just smack them about and stuff like that. And these blades act a little bit like a Thresh ultimate, the box from Thresh. But it also does something called disarming, which means if you walk through this, you'll become disarmed and you can't auto attack anymore, which is pretty ridiculous. All right, so how does she work as a jingle jangler? Well, I feel like the passive is pretty standard here. It doesn't emphasize or specify whether or not the extra damage, like the on-hit damage, when you hit things with your abilities, but that's only on champions, because it says hitting enemies with spells grants IRELIA stacks of fervor, so that would imply that it's anything, but then it says hitting multiple champions with an ability grants multiple stacks. So I'm not sure whether or not it only applies to champions or whether it applies to monsters as well. I'm actually going to, I would say from the wording it kind of sounds like it's just champions, but I would say from the way her other abilities work, I'm going to say this works with everything, because some of these other abilities emphasize or do specify that it works off of neutral monsters too. So it's kind of like they want her to be able to jungle, maybe. So I would think that the passive works with it. Blade Surge, I think, is just pretty standard. I mean, it's like old IRELIA, really. It's not great. But if you hit marked things, you can use this twice on a target, and maybe if they're marked, you hit them, and then you hit them again and they die, you're going to have it up 3 times. So that's kind of cool. But I think, this one's a little bit like, if you go like Tiamat, I would say if you get Tiamat and you do like the chicken camp, the Blade Surge could be really good here, but you might just go really as well doing it. Nothing special here as far as clearing goes, but as far as ganking, this is really good. This is like, this is your gap closer, basically just like old IRELIA. Defiant Dance, I think, is really nice for clearing specifically, because as you get to a camp, you can just charge it up and throw it at something, and it does more damage the longer you charge it. So that's really good for jungle clearing, because the jungle camps don't move. They're not going to juke you, so you can just sit there and charge it and get maximum efficiency. I'm not sure really. I don't really feel like this is going to be particularly useful for ganking or anything like that. I don't think it really holds anything into ganking at all. You probably wouldn't. This is like a 1v1 ability. This is a dueling ability. Not really anything for ganking. But if you do run into the enemy jungler, this could be quite useful. It's a little bit like Master Yi's W, sort of, except you then do damage afterwards as well. Now this Flawless Duet is really what will make or break your ganks here, because if you can land a stun on this one, then absolutely your ganks will be, well, flawless. It's that really bloody good. And then it's also gonna reset your Blade Surge as well. So if you tag someone with this, and then you jump in on them, and then they flash away from you, you will follow them again. Like if you land this, they will die. Basically, that's how it's gonna go. The range on it seems like, I don't know, that seems like relatively long range, honestly. If you were coming in through the river or something like that, you could pop it on pop it over a wall and then walk up to them and pop it on the other side of them or something, and you could definitely get value out of that. I think there's potential here at least. And then with the ultimate as well, this is just like cherry on the top really for me. I think you chuck that ultimate down, you're gonna have a successful game. You know, when your ultimate's up, you're gonna shit on some kids basically. So yeah, those are her abilities, and that's what I think of her as a jungler. All in all, conclusion, I guess I should say here. I think she'll be pretty good. I think her clear speed will... I'm not sold on her clear speeds being particularly good, honestly. I think you'll probably have to go Tiamat on her. But, you know, if looking at this, I could imagine like a Warrior Enchant Triforce build being really solid. So I don't think she... I could be wrong when I say this, because it really depends on the numbers when they come out and stuff like that. But depending on how well her clears go, I would say it's unlikely she'll be like a really high meta pick, but absolutely could be viable as a jungler. I would say you could definitely jungle with Irelia, just looking off of her abilities here. So there's some more information here if you want to read it. Like I say, I'll stick it down below in the description. But can we just get some love for Frostblade Irelia here? Frostblade Irelia, aka Frost Butt Irelia. They changed the splash, but still stuck the amazing butt on there. If that's not worth your love, I don't know what is. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe for more, and I'll try and get a gameplay of the new Irelia. Oh, that's me. Hello. I'll try and get a gameplay of the new Irelia. Yeah, when she comes out on PvE. It'll probably be tonight, so I'll try and do it for tomorrow or something, because I'm kind of busy. But either way, just stick around if you want to see the gameplay. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you in my next video.